All right, so let's work through an example here in the book, example 7-6, temperatures on Thanksgiving Day. You want to follow us, it's on page 385 in your book. So we have a random sample of high temperatures for 12 recent Thanksgiving days, and it has an average of 42 degrees Fahrenheit. Now they tell us that assume that it is normally distributed. That's important because we only have 12 of these temperatures, okay? And the standard deviation for the sample is actually 8 degrees. They ask us to find a 95% confidence interval for the population mean of the temperatures. Now be careful that you are not given a standard deviation for all possible Thanksgiving Day temperatures. You are just given the sample standard deviation. Okay, so let's really quickly examine what we need to figure out and then how are we going to go about this. So we know the sample is 12. We know the standard, we know that the mean of the sample is 42 degrees, and we know that the standard deviation of the sample, the S, not the sigma, is 8 degrees. We also know that we need to find a 95% confidence interval, so we're going to use a T interval because of this business over here, unknown standard deviation. We're going to grab our table F, the T distribution, and go through this really quickly. We are looking at 95% confidence interval, okay? If I have 12 items in the sample, that means that I need to look at the line of 11 degrees of freedom. So I'm going to see where they intersect. They intersect at 2.201. Remember that number, we'll need it in half a second. Okay, so I need my point estimate, okay? And I would need to have my critical value T, which we just found. Remember, it's 2.201. And I would need to know also the standard deviation of my sample. And I'm going to divide it by the square root of the sample size. So let's look at this really quickly. If you are going to go ahead and plug in here your 42 degrees, okay, that's our point estimate, plus minus 2.201. Remember, we just looked it up. And this over here is going to be 8 divided by the square root of 12, okay? And that's what we're doing here. So one time, and really quickly, go grab your calculator, make sure that you're ending up with the numbers that we're ending up. So one time we're going to do 42 minus 5.08, okay? And one time we're going to do 42 plus 5.08. These are the boundaries of our confidence interval, okay? This is our threshold. So we end up with the mean temperatures being greater than 36.92 and less than 47.08. Okay, so we are confident that if we were to make at least 95 confidence intervals, at least 100 confidence intervals, 95 of them would actually capture the true mean temperature for Thanksgiving Day. And it's going to be somewhere between about 37 degrees and 47 degrees. All right, so we're going to do another question, very similar, in a few, so come back.